welcome. We have a bullhorn now, which is, I don't know about that, but it's amazing. We're organizing even more every day. And I want to thank you all for coming out, even though they canceled their meeting today, their board meeting. We needed to show up today because I was at my first pre-hearing yesterday with our lawyer, and when they filed, they did not file according to the law as they needed to in their response. I don't even know how to.
Loud. Just talk louder. And now we have sirens.
Supporting HSEA!
Yeah! Alright. And so with that, when they didn't respond correctly, it extends our time. They are trying to stall and keep us away. They are very clear on what was done. And if you haven't seen on Facebook, we posted for the first time, released some of the ULP things along with the what their response was basically we misinterpreted what was being said. But that is not true. I don't know how you can misinterpret receipts and text messages and emails. But anyways, we're going to keep going. But they are really working to try to slow us down. They're hoping that when we come back to school, we will be too tired to do all the work that needs to be done for teacher voices. And so, I want to thank you guys so much. I'm going to introduce you to Dakota. He is from, Columbus, Indiana, and our association down there. So, I'm going to let him speak. Yes, hold it close to your mouth. That's what the key is.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dakota Huddleston Zipper. I am a teacher in Columbus, Indiana. I am also an officer and organizer for my local down there. And I am here because I support HSEA. And really, I am here for one main reason, and that is solidarity. Though I don't teach in this district, I have been watching what's been going on here. You may see my post in Indiana Educators United Facebook group. And when I'm looking at what's happening here, and I've been watching your fight, I recognize it as my fight because it is my fight. An attack on one educator in any district is an attack on every one of us. I am here in solidarity because I know that when a school board, or when a school board in one district can treat its teachers' working conditions like they don't matter, then a school district or a board in any district could do that. I know that when leadership in one school district can get away with threatening and lying about its very own teachers, then leadership in any school district can get away with it. When the educators of one school district are under attack, then we are all under attack. And it is true, right now, statewide, teachers are in a more precarious situation than we have found ourselves in for many years. While our fight for dignity and for respect in our profession has seen many successes and victories, like the 2019 rally at the State House, Pack the House events, and more, we've also seen our share of setbacks, including bad school boards in a few places around the state, the elimination of our discussion rights, and restriction of our bargaining rights. So where do we go from here? What do we do? Well, we follow the example of HSEA all across this state, and we fight back. We will fight at HSEA administration buildings. We will fight at school board meetings. We will fight at the State House and challenge lawmakers in their very own hallways of power. And any time and any place that a teacher is standing up for their own students, for their colleagues, or for the school, then teachers all around the state are with them fighting. And let me tell you, I can see that the actions of HSE administration and leadership have clearly demonstrated that lawmakers were wrong to eliminate our discussion and bargaining rights the way that they have. HSE leadership has shown how leadership acts when they are not accountable to their staff. And that is why the state of Indiana needs to empower educators to bring stability and excellence back to HSE schools. And the best way to do that is by restoring our discussion rights, forcing administration to the table, and expanding our bargaining rights to include hours and working conditions. so they have to meet us at the table. And I want to say, I have a great deal of admiration for HSEA, and my admiration's been growing as I have been seeing what you've been doing. And I know that even though it's by necessity and it shouldn't be happening, you are setting an example for educators all across this state. When Hoosier educators look at HSEA, they see power, they see courage, they see a willingness to fight for their students, and they see the future of union organizing in this state. And I know that it can be scary to come out like this, to picket, to fight, and to organize. And this reminds me of a story from my own local. I want to close with, because you have inspired me the way a teacher in my own local did. Several years ago, teachers in my local, the Columbus Educators Association, were organizing around our contract times to get administration to respect teachers' times and cut back on unnecessary after contract hour meetings. I'm sure you know nothing about that. As part of our collective effort to get administration to recognize our dignity and respect our time, we knew that it was time for teachers to start walking out of meetings when their contract times ended. So we encouraged educators to do that. There was one teacher that really inspired me and embodied the spirit of what it means to be a union activist. I'm going to call her Ashley. Now, Ashley in her school had no union position at this time, but she heard the union's call to come out and fight and to walk out of contract meetings, or walk out of contract time. So she one evening got home. She texted everyone she knew in her building, all of the members, called them, and she said, "Will you please stand up with me at contract times and walk out?" And all of her colleagues said, to their credit, "You know what, Ashley, we'll do that with you, but you need to be the first one to stand. You need to do it, and then when you start going, we'll follow out behind you," okay? So the next day, they go to school, they have their staff meeting after school, and they have it in the auditorium. Ashley sits in the front of the auditorium, and as contract times approached, she got ready, she gathered her things, and when it was time, she stood up, turned around, and started to walk out of that auditorium. Now, she didn't know if anyone was behind her. She went about halfway up the aisle, not hearing any movement, and she started to hesitate, wondering if maybe she should sit back down and if nobody followed her. But then behind her, one of her colleagues called out over the principal, who was still trying to get through a slide deck, and said, "Keep going, Ashley. We are all right behind you. Don't stop." And together, Ashley and her colleagues walked out of that building, and they forced their administration to rework meetings to respect contract times. HSEA members and supporters that are here, I know that this kind of organizing can be scary. You are facing injustice right now. You have been saddled with district leadership that does not respect you the way that they should. But right now, when I'm looking at you, and I know that other teachers around the state feel the same way, what I'm seeing is a group of people doing real union work, real labor activism that is inspiring workers all around this state. You embody 100 years worth of labor activism, and so I say to you now, keep going, HSEA. We are right behind you. Don't stop.
All right, I want to say some thank yous. Keith Gamble is here, our state president, and so we want to thank him for coming. I also want to thank Corey Kern.
I'm behind you.
Oh, he helps Becky, so that's awesome. Or other way around, it's fine. I don't know. Other way around. And then Glenn is our interim executive director, who's here as well. He has on an Alaska red thread, but we still allow that here in Indiana because that's great support too. So now, what I would like us to do is grab a sign. We're gonna walk on the sidewalk and show, because we know that we have community members who may not come here, but they will honk for us and they will show their support. And so, we're gonna go, and we're gonna go. And then we're gonna chant. When we're united, we can't be defeated. Okay, you ready? Here we go. I hate this part about this. It's fine. All right, grab a sign.